Okay, today's video is gonna be about fat acceptance. So just to kind of start out, the main reason why companies are like kind of putting out all this like fat acceptance stuff nowadays is to sell you junk food, and it's a lot of companies like that make junk food products or products that aren't the healthiest for you, like companies that make ice cream and they make chips and they make all these just unhealthy snacks that you shouldn't be eating on a normal basis. So with that in mind, there's another key aspect of fat acceptance that's just really bad, and it's teaching people completely wrong things, and it's that being overweight is healthy. And I don't know like what happened to society, but I guess for one day we just woke up and we're like, yep, let's just throw all, medical citing, medical sources, doctors, let's just throw all that out the window because being fat is apparently healthy now, which is it's not. I mean, you can gaslight yourself all you want. Being fat is not healthy, and if you're fat, you should try to lose weight because it's not healthy and it's not good for you. So, already reason number one is because it's horrible, and all it does is it gaslights people into just not changing their unhealthy habits and staying the same throughout their whole lives, just staying unhealthy, being okay with not being healthy. And that is a pretty bad thing to do, just make a bunch of people not want to change their unhealthy habits. And, fat acceptance, among, other bad things, fat acceptance kills. Like, every year there are more Americans, which is where the most fat acceptance stuff is pushed. Usually, America and the UK are the biggest pushers of fat acceptance. And I don't know if you paid attention to the charts, but America has one of the highest obesity rates out of the entire world. And that's really bad because that means its citizens are gonna die earlier than other people. And we can already see the effects of that. Like these fat acceptance, a lot of these fat acceptance TikTokers, they die when they're like 40. And it's like, oh, surprise, surprise, being 400 pounds, it's not going to give you the longest lifespan. So, it just gaslights people into thinking that that their lifestyle is healthy when it's really not. And it's actually really bad for you if you're really that overweight. So, just immediately it's really bad because everybody's just like, "Oh, well, it's healthy to be fat now, and I don't need to change my unhealthy habits or try to improve myself in any way." And then, everyone's unhealthy now. Oh, well, why'd I die at 40, guys? It's not like I was 400 pounds and eating 300 cheeseburgers every day. And yeah, so that's a lot of the reason why so many companies are pushing fat acceptance now, because they just want to sell you some unhealthy food and make you not feel bad about it. And another key argument that I see is like, oh, well, you can't just tell if someone's healthy based on how they look. I mean, that might be true with like some diseases. Like, I can't look at someone and like say that, oh, well, they look like they have COVID. But one of the things that is true for is obesity. You can tell when somebody's obese. It's not like it's just this mystery thing. When it's like that's literally a whole like part of being a doctor is that they look at you and they feel your stomach and they look at it and then they determine if you're obese or not. That's because it's literally you can see it. You can see if you're obese. It's a fact. You can't just like and you can't just like look at someone and say, oh, well, they have COVID, and I get that because like you can't really see that. But obesity is absolutely something that you can see because it's literally one of the main symptoms of it is that you can see extra fat and extra stomach on your body. So yeah, you can absolutely tell if somebody is obese and they're unhealthy, because as we've established before, obesity is literally we've established that it's not healthy because every single science article that's worth itself says it is. And yeah, instead of believing all these companies that want to sell you unhealthy food, you should probably believe actual science, because that'll get you a lot farther in life. So yeah, and fat acceptance, among other things I've talked about, is just is really, really bad for people who like, you know, who want to lose weight and then they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna start trying to improve my life because I think my weight is kind of getting out of control and I should probably try to work on that. But then all of these, fat activists, they keep telling them, no, 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 no. You do not need to improve yourself in any way. You do not need to do that. And it's just really bad because then they're just like, okay, well, this is just another excuse to continue my unhealthy habits. And then they just see it's just an excuse for people to be lazy and not actually put the work in to not be fat. I mean, it's horrible. I think I'm gonna go to cave next. So it's an excuse for just lazy people who have food addictions to just forget about them and be like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up, before you judge me, I'm healthy, guys. And yeah, and it's really damaging to a lot of young people and a lot of people today who are overweight and were previously thinking about trying to change their habits, but then all of a sudden all this new like fat acceptance comes out and it's like, oh well, you know what, just because I'm 300 pounds that doesn't mean that I'm not healthy. So yeah, it's pretty horrible stuff, and we should definitely try to get rid of it because um it's killing people every single year. Obesity is in America, so there's literally evidence that obesity is not a good thing and it's not healthy and we shouldn't be trying to push it. And then there's this other thing that's like that's even worse in my opinion, and it's like the whole word of beautiful has just gone down the toilet. There is no definition for the word anymore because you'll see that that every all of these new like woke magazines of like especially like the I forgot which one it was, but I'll put like a picture of one on the screen right now. There's like these woke magazines that are like, oh, this is healthy, this looks good. And then not only are they calling it healthy, but they're also calling it beautiful. And it's like, does the word beautiful even mean anything anymore? Beautiful used to describe people who put the time in, put the effort in to actually work on their appearance. But now it's just describing people who sit on the couch all day and eat junk food. That like, there's no meaning to the word if we're calling fat people beautiful. There's absolutely no meaning to the word anymore. So, I mean, if somebody calls you beautiful, it's actually kind of an insult now because it could either mean that you actually look good and it's the old definition of the word, which is what should happen right now, or it's just calling you fat because this literally beautiful could literally mean anything these days. So, I mean, there's not even a point in a word like pretty or beautiful being used anymore because woke activists just want to use it to describe anyone and anything that has a pulse just so they don't feel bad. If you're fat, you should feel bad that you're fat. It's not a good thing, and you should try to change your habits. It's not something that you should just be okay with. I mean, if you're okay and accepting that you're not, you don't look good and that you're not healthy, that's fine. But don't go around parading that, oh, I'm so healthy, I'm actually really healthy, when you're not. Because it just makes it's an insult to people who actually do put work effort into their appearance. And then they're on the same level apparently as these people who just are lazy and they don't put any work in. So yeah, it's just the whole thing. There's nothing good about fat acceptance, and yeah. So another like crazier part to this, fat, all new like this fat phobia, anti-fat phobia stuff is like is that your appearance it doesn't matter anymore, which is one, it's not true, and two, it's wrong. It's like I don't know where all this stuff came out, where it was like all of a sudden like your appearance and how you look shouldn't matter in anything. But it's yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's just created by again corporations who want to sell you unhealthy food and want to continue, leading your unhealthy lifestyle because that's so you don't feel bad anymore about buying unhealthy food. And they're making you believe these things that aren't true. And one of the things that is one of the stupidest things anyone's ever said is that like they're all always looks have always been a factor in a relationship. I mean, whether you want, like, if you're trying to date someone and you're not, like, you don't look good, it's just not gonna happen. But now that, all this fat acceptance stuff is coming out, it's making people less attractive and less, lesser likely to be in a relationship, because people don't want to be in a relationship naturally. It's not anything that they can control. People do not want to be in a relationship with people who aren't attractive. So it's actively lowering the population because there's less people in relationships now, and that is lowering the population. So not only is it damaging yourself, but it's also damaging to, like, the world population, since less people every single day are, getting in relationships. That means that there's going to be less people on Earth. So, it's just horrible how they all this stuff about, like, taking care of your appearance is important because it reflects who you are. It's just thrown out the window in favor of this system that favors lazy people who have food addictions to just continue their unhealthy habits. And it's not just the relationships. Looks and appearance affects literally every single part of your life. People will be nicer to you if you look good and meaner to you if you look bad. You'll get bullied more. You'll get, and especially in job interviews, I don't know, like, I picked up on this, but I mean, most of what a job interview is you looking presentable and, acting presentable to the employer. I mean, if they think you're an out of shape slob who is not able to do any of the work or, be physically fit, they're not gonna hire you. But if you look good, because again, looking good is a reflection on who you are because it shows that you're disciplined and that you work hard. It's like, because looking good is a reflection on you. It's literally, if you look good, it shows that you work hard, you have self-discipline, and you have all these other traits that employers are always looking for. Everyone wants a hardworking person and a disciplined person to work for them. Then that will affect your job interview. But if you look out of shape or you look fat, they're not gonna want to hire you. And that's just how it is. I don't know why everyone keeps talking about how your appearance doesn't matter, because it does. In every part of your life, your appearance affects your life. So you should try to have the best appearance possible to get the most out of what you want possible. And it's easy to just sit back and complain about the system, but instead of just adapting to it and actually looking good, people just don't want to do that. They don't want to go through the work, and now everybody is fat. And that's why everyone's unhealthy in America, especially because of all the processed foods. And it's not a common thing I see is that even, not really related to, fat acceptance, but it's like people try to blame the food in America, like the food state in America, on their health. And it's just like, it's really stupid because, I mean, there's obviously good-looking people in America, so, it's obviously possible to not, consume all that junk food. You just gotta have self-control. And self-control is another thing that people are looking for, in a relationship or in a job interview. So, looking good or looking bad has a huge effect whether you're gonna succeed in life or not. Alright, anyway, just as kind of a concluding statement to this, I know it was a bit of a rambling, just pay attention to your looks, and if they're not where you want them to be, then you should change that, and you should try your best to change that, because it's gonna matter later on when you're, in a job interview or you're trying to ask somebody out, because it's a huge factor in everything, despite what the modern media tries to tell you. And definitely pay attention to your health, and if you're overweight, then you're not healthy. Despite what, going for what modern science says, which is what you should believe in. You should believe in science. That's I don't know where this all, like, anti-science stuff originated from. And what this fat acceptance movement does is just gives lazy people an excuse to continue their unhealthy habits, and not unwillingness and no willpower to change anything about their health. and it also, makes them less likely to succeed in life, in relationships, and in jobs because employers are less likely to hire people who are, unattractive. And, that's pretty much it. The fat acceptance movement does way more harm than it does any good. It doesn't. The only good it does is that it makes you, like, hate yourself less, which is, a good thing. But, if you don't like the way you look, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can you can change the way you look despite what they'll tell you. So yeah, that'll be it for today's video. I'm glad you made it this way far. If you agree with me or not, you're a strong person, and you heard me out, which is a lot more than most people will do in today's society, where they'll just look at the picture, look at the thumbnail, look at the title, and be like, nope, I don't agree with this person, and I'm not gonna listen to what they say because it doesn't matter to me because I already don't agree with them. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it, and thank you.